Right now, as we speak, the AI revolution is creating a crisis that you literally can't see. It's not about chips or code, it's about a colossal, almost unbelievable demand for raw power. And the solution that the smartest minds in tech are betting their billions on, it's the one we've been arguing about for decades. Let's break down exactly why they're making this bet and how you can get in on it. Take a good look at this number, 426 terawatt hours. This is the absolute heart of the story. By 2030, that's how much electricity U.S. data centers are expected to need every single year. To put that in perspective, that's a 133% jump from today. It's more power than the entire country of Pakistan uses. This isn't just a little growth, folks. This is an energy crisis waiting to happen, and it's all being driven by AI. So, where does all that power come from today? Well, if you look at the current mix, it's pretty interesting. Over 40% is from natural gas. You see, renewables are definitely part of the picture, and look at that. Nuclear is already pulling 20% of the weight. But here's the thing. To handle that insane new demand reliably and without choking the planet, this pie chart is going to have to look radically different, and soon. And that brings us right to the core of this whole thing, nuclear power's big comeback. We're not talking about your grandpa's nuclear plant. We are talking about the only realistic solution for a new world that demands clean, constant, and incredibly concentrated energy. This is nuclear's second act. This slide right here explains everything. It's the baseload power dilemma. AI data centers are mission critical. They cannot turn off, ever. Now, we all love renewables, but they are by definition intermittent. The sun sets, the wind stops blowing. You can't run the future of computing on a maybe. Nuclear, on the other hand, gives you that carbon-free, power-dense, 24/7 baseload power. It is the always-on solution for an industry that is always on. And listen, this isn't some far-off theory. The biggest players in tech are already writing massive checks. I mean, just look at the $650 million deal between Talon Energy and Amazon. They're powering a data center campus directly from a nuclear plant. This is a huge strategic shift. They're not just buying power anymore, they're building their data centers right next to the power source to guarantee the lights never go out. They aren't waiting for a solution, they're creating it. And you know what happens when hundreds of billions of dollars start moving in one direction, right? You bet. Washington starts paying very close attention. This push from the private sector is now getting some serious tailwinds from the government. Which brings us to the Advance Act. This is a landmark piece of law that got bipartisan support and passed just this year. So what does it do? Basically, it's designed to slice through the miles of red tape that have choked the nuclear industry for decades. It makes licensing faster, it cuts costs for the people building these things, and it's greenlighting the next generation of nuclear tech. This is the federal government basically saying full speed ahead. So let's just recap. AI creates a historic demand. Nuclear provides the only clean 24/7 solution, and now the government is clearing the path. When you see forces like that line up, you're looking at a potential multi-decade transformation. So the next question is the obvious one. How can you actually invest in this? The opportunity here isn't just about picking one company. It's about understanding the entire ecosystem. You got to think in layers. First, you have the miners, like Cameco, digging the uranium out of the ground. Then you have specialists like BWX Technologies that build the supercritical parts and the fuel. You've got the innovators like Oklo, who are designing the next generation of reactors. And of course, you need the engineering giants like Jacobs Solutions to actually build the whole thing. Now, let's just zoom in on the fuel for a second, because this is huge. The US has a massive supply problem. It needs about 15 million units of enriched uranium a year, but it can only produce less than 5 million. I mean, do the math. That supply and demand gap is a powerful, powerful driver for any company that's in the uranium business. And this is where it gets really exciting. We're talking about the future of the industry, small modular reactors, or SMRs. Forget those gigantic, sprawling plants from the past. Companies like Oklo are building compact reactors in a factory. They're faster, they're cheaper, and they're safer to get up and running. And their smaller size makes them a perfect, tailor-made solution for something like a data center campus. Okay, but let's pump the brakes for a minute. No investment thesis is worth anything without a serious reality check. Nuclear power has a complicated past, and it's absolutely crucial we talk about the very real risks and the headwinds this industry is up against. And let's be blunt. According to a major study from Boston University, nuclear power plants have historically been the riskiest energy projects when it comes to blowing the budget. The average nuclear project goes over budget by more than 100%. 100%. Compare that to solar projects, which average just a 1% overrun. That is a massive risk factor that any serious investor has to think about. And of course, there it is, the elephant in the room. The question that has hung over this industry for 50 years. Yeah, that's all great, but what are you going to do with the nuclear waste? It is, without a doubt, the single biggest hurdle they have to clear. For decades, the answer to that question was, well, there was no answer. It was just a political football. But now, a real technological solution is coming online. It's called deep borehole disposal. Essentially, it uses the same kind of proven drilling tech from the oil and gas industry to stick waste in sealed containers and bury it permanently, thousands of feet underground in rock that hasn't moved for millions of years. And get this isn't just a white paper or a theory anymore. There's a company out there called Deep Isolation that is commercializing this exact solution as we speak. They've got 87 patents, and they're already working with industry to get this deployed. This is a game changer. It turns the waste problem from a forever problem into a solvable engineering challenge. So let's tie this all up with a bow. The investment case for this nuclear renaissance really stands on 4 strong legs. 1. AI is creating an absolutely historic demand for power. 2. Nuclear is the only clean energy source that can meet that demand 24/7 at scale. 3. Government policy is now acting like an accelerator, not a brake. And 4. For the first time in a long time, there's a whole supply chain here that you can actually invest in. Look, the digital future we are all building is going to require an amount of power that's hard to even wrap your head around. The facts on the ground have changed. The question is no longer if we're going to need nuclear power. The real question is, who is going to build it? Fortunes are going to be made powering this revolution. The only question left is, will you be ready?